7:02 p.m. We have our land acknowledgement and anti-racism statement online. Tonight's roll call, we have Rob excused. Anyone else?
Linda's on Zoom.
Yeah, we have Linda on, but she's here. We have Linda on Zoom.
Do we have Stu on Zoom also, or is he
Motion to the
excused?
adoption of the agenda. Well, we need to make amend the agenda tonight. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda. I'd like to remove item 6A from continuing business.
Move to amend the agenda.
Need
Can
a
you tell us
second?
what 6A is?
Can I get a second?
We'll second.
It's
Second.
Easement for a driveway.
Tiny is a second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, that's unanimous. All right, moving on with the motion to move forward with the adopted agenda.
Move to go forward with the adopted agenda.
All in favor?
Question.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to propose that maybe we extend the member comments tonight. Keep it at 3 minutes, but we have a lot of people here. They've been invited. And I would really like to see it extended.
Second that.
All in favor of moving the agenda to giving the public comments more than 15 minutes tonight? All right, that passes by majority. All in favor of the amended agenda? Aye. I didn't see them.
Linda, did you?
Stu.
Yes, I voted yes for the amended agenda. Do we know, I asked a question, is Stu there or is he joining by Zoom?
Sir, we can see Ms. Bond.
He just raised his hand.
So he approved that amendment. Thank you, Stu.
Okay, any announcements tonight? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to property owner comments. So we normally have 15 minutes total, 3 minutes per person. We've extended that tonight. So as you come up, just give your name, your address, and then head on up. Who wants to be first?
I'll be first.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Sears Taylor, 22 Windward Drive, Gate 1. I want to thank the members of the board for your volunteer work. I know how hard it is to do this, and I certainly respect the people I'm talking to. And I thank you, Tom, for proposing that resolution. I also thank you for inviting me to the meeting at the dog park. The reason you had to double your chairs, thank you for putting out more chairs, on a dull August night is that this is a very, very explosive subject. I don't know how many people remember the last time that the dog owners had to storm the board with pitchforks and torches when they were going to cut the dog park in half. But this is all I use. I use the roads, the dog park. I don't use the gym, the golf course. And I'll gladly pay my subsidy for the golf course, the gym, the marina. I just want the dog park left alone because there's alternates to the dog park. Tom brought up a good point when we talked, Mr. Henning brought up a good point about liability. I'm not a $500 an hour lawyer, which some of you are used to dealing with, but I think a simple solution would be 2 4x4 signs saying, dog park, loose dogs, proceed at your own risk at each side. The reason I'm opposed to any changes is I believe I've seen incrementalism. And I know that once part of the dog park is cut off, the next move would be to cut it in half, and pretty soon we'll be over at that ridiculous airport dog park. I had to take my dogs there because she couldn't go in the water. That's not a good place for a dog park. So we have the best dog park in Whatcom County. was one of the main reasons I moved here. Some people move here for golf, I moved here for dogs. So this is a very, very, very important issue. So I hope that you don't make any changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet Sears on Saturday. And I think when we first met, he wanted to knock me out. And he could have done it, but we ended up being friends.
Thank you.
My name's Julia, I live at 5 Jasper Ridge Lane, and
Julia,
Julia,
thank you.
yep. Thanks for listening to us and thank you for extending your time. I am here in support of the dog park, but I also want to know actual facts about what is being discussed and considered as changes at the dog park. I reached out via email to the board and several board members last week, and I haven't heard back from anyone from the board. But I think that would help alleviate some of the real concern that we all have as users of the dog park if we actually knew what was going on. So please share that information. And then also I would like to please ask you to actively solicit input from the park users during those discussions. Like, I would like to see you actually out there or posting signs about what these proposals and discussions are to get the opinions of people who actually use that park. And I guess, like, I'm not inherently opposed to a fence. I just want to make sure the dog park footprint stays the same. It doesn't get shrunk in half like last time this came up, and that we retain access to the water and access to the tall grass. Like, I have a 14-year-old chocolate lab. I've lived here for 14 years. I've been going to that park for 14 years. It's my favorite place. Like this gentleman here, it is the one amenity I use, the roads and the dog park, and I have happily voted for dues and everything to subsidize playgrounds and all sorts of things that I do not use, because we are a community, and I think that folks with dogs are no less of dues-paying members than anyone else. And also, I was there right before this. There were plenty of families with children and their dogs hanging out there. It was chill. Everything was fine. It's not, it's not just dogs using that park. It's humans using that park. It's families with their dogs using that park. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. Sorry, I'm not much of a public speaker, but
Thank you very much.
please consider it.
Spencer, anyone on? Great, any next? Please, come on up. Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Somebody else?
Yeah, that's okay.
We go next.
We got extra time tonight, so.
By the way, appreciate that very much. I'd like to start, my name is Jack Waits.
Hey, Jack.
W-A-Y-T-Z,
Your address, please.
11 Yearling Place.
Thank you.
Sorry about my voice, I'm suffering through a sinus flare-up. I normally don't talk like this. Just want to say, when this came up the last time, I understand that this is not the same board that we spoke with last time, but there was an amount of subterfuge that was involved with that. I do think it's an interesting choice to have us come up to comment before you actually told us what the proposition would be.
Well, that's exactly kind of weird that you actually are here for something that's not even on the agenda. And to kind of answer your question, we're really not sure. We just know that legal counsel has suggested the dog park be fenced off. We made apparently a mistake by going down there and just taking a look around the dog park. I actually talked to a few people that were using the dog park that day to get ideas from what they use. It became somewhat confrontational. That wasn't the intent. It was just to kind of get an idea. And that's how this all morphed into this now. So,
Well, without knowing the extent to which you have delved into this, I would recommend talking with the Whatcom County executive about the watershed regulations.
I've done that. Thank you.
Okay, good. I was under the understanding that a permanent fence was not going to be one of the possibilities in accordance with the watershed statutes that the county.
They haven't responded back to me yet, so I can't answer that to you.
That was the answer that I got last time, so.
Okay.
I found out that information for you.
When I get it, honestly, it'll be shared, so.
But, like the people who have preceded me, It's a terrible idea to change the dimensions of the dog park. I hope you realize that this dog park is not only the best dog park in the state of Washington, but probably one of the finest in the entire country. It would be a shame for us to do anything to alleviate that. And like the people who have preceded me, I don't golf or have a boat. So the dog park, I have a German Shepherd who's going to be 10 in December. Since he was born, I have missed exactly 10 days at that dog park, despite having 3 major surgeries. We are there every day in every weather. So I can say that we do have a community down there. It's not just about the dogs, the people are a pack as well. We all meet at the same time. We become friends, we know one another. It's an important part of Sun Valley life as a community. I hope you'll consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. So everyone knows, I am a dog owner myself, so. Please, step up and thank you.
I'm Raylan Schwartz Dupree.
I'm sorry, I didn't get.
I'm Dr. Raylan Schwartz Dupree,
Really.
and I live at 4 Cedar Place. And I'm gonna echo some of the ideas that my colleagues and friends of the dog park have shared. When I had twin daughters and no community ever to get out of the house, and those of you who have children know how hard it is to get out of the house with young kids. We went to the dog park because at 12 o'clock every day, all of the moms stuck inside with their kids came to the dog park. And when my mother came to visit and she took care of the dog, she went at 4 o'clock because that's when all the retirees came together. And it's a real community space for people. People don't go to the pool just to swim, they go to see their community, and same with golf and all of the other amenities. Now understand, there's been claims of quote unquote bad dogs, right? Well, I can tell you there's bad kids at the pool too, but we as a community do a really nice job of taking care of each other. If I see another dog, using the space aggressively or people not picking up, we're quick to check each other and make sure that that becomes a practice because we care so much about our community. Now, I understand there are like 7 days a year where the place is just packed and the parking is an issue. And so perhaps the concern, I really like the idea that Sun Valley is considering these permits so that people who pay for the space really get to honor the space. Because I would argue that, on those days, it's not the regulars who are out there, in the rain and the mud on, November 5th. That's not your problem, right? The problem is the people who know about our little secret.
Yeah.
And so I think that if you were gonna change anything about this fabulous dog park, it would be to restrict it to the people who pay for it and the people who respect it. Thank you.
A quick question before you leave, and maybe this could be all of you. So what we're trying to figure out is, do you guys have any idea how many non-members actually use the dog park?
Quite a few, because I know a lot of people who own dogs, and I'm at the university, so I just know a lot of people in town. And I can tell you on those busy days, you're not gonna find many
When the
residents there.
temperature goes over 80 degrees, most of the people down there are not from our community.
Yeah, because we know better,
Good to
right?
know.
We're there at 7 a.m.
I'm there when it's over 80 degrees. That's how I cool off my air conditioning, so.
But that's a lot of our problem.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of problem, and I've thought about a variety of ways in which you can do this. I mean, you did a really nice job, not you, but our community did a really nice job with these new tennis courts, right? Because they restrict access.
Yeah.
To make a fence that went from the tennis courts out. I don't think the residents are the people that you're gonna find a problem with, because we are a community and we look after each other, right? I mean, my dog Winston died on Friday and he used that park until the day he died. We were there Friday morning. It's a real space and it's a real place that I find my community in Sun Valley. I think you're gonna see more problems from people outside who aren't a part of that community, not facetiously, but they're just not. And so there's nobody to check them. And that's unfortunate, but they also don't pay the dues.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, but that's one reason why we actually implemented the sticker program on the windshield of the cars, is because a lot of complaints that we see via emails, and I know you people don't get the chance to see them, is from the parking down there, and that's the question we had, is it non-members or is it members just coming down, because it is an 80-degree day, like Julia
But what's
comes
the
down.
penalty if you don't have a sticker?
Well,
That's what we're working on.
Again, it was just something we're trying to implement
Sure.
to actually collect data to get an idea of how many people are non-members or members that are using it, and then we can kind of decide where to go from there. It is hard to implement a program if the funds wouldn't be there to make that sustainable. So having the sticker program means nothing if we couldn't hire a guard to actually go out and do something or issue a
So I'm
fine or
wondering-
violation.
I was down there the other day and there was a security guard there, and I asked him, I said, is there a security issue? Like, I would be concerned, you know, with my children, my kids, my dogs, you know. And he said, well, I'm just here to ensure that you leash your dog. And I was standing there with 2 dogs on a leash. And I was like,
Well, you did good then.
you know what I mean? I mean, if I'm gonna pay for a security guard, I expect that person to be friendly and welcoming to people who use this amenity because we care, and we care about each other, and we care about each other's family. And for many of us, our dog is our family. I mean, there's a lot of people for whom, if not at 4 o'clock, getting out with their retired dog would not see the daylight. But they put on their makeup and they get ready to go. And it's why we're here. It's why we love, I mean, I've always paid for supported upcoming dues. I'd like some of those holes to be filled if possible, but you know, I'll still go. So anyway, I really would hope that you would consider the importance that Sun Valley community has. And we just happen to have dogs, you know, so.
Thank you very much for your time. I
But one
appreciate it.
consideration about the people coming, and I know this is about a dog park, but a lot of people who are boaters invite friends. So if I owned a boat and I wanted some friends come, I have to get them special stickers, I mean,
Sure.
I think.
Well, that's another discussion we'll have actually later, but I do thank you for your time.
Sorry, so we need to move on.
All right, we got a
Thank
speak order here.
We got a lot of folks who want to speak.
Next.
Hey, I'm gonna be the guy talking against, I'm sorry about that, but my name is Rob Stevenson. I live at 17 Marina Drive, at the bottom of the hill before the park. And there's a tremendous amount of traffic that comes through there. It's way worse than it used to be. Thank God the speed bumps went in a number of years ago, but some people just treat them like an amusement park ride when they go across them, you know. But most all the people that come down have a dog in their car. So I just have a few grievances. Before I start, I'd like to say my kids built the signs at both dog parks. Built the original fence around the small dog park and the benches in the small dog park
Nice.
and
Part of a troop project or?
Eagle Scout.
yeah, Eagle Scouts, right.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, and we had a beautiful dog, Rocky, who has passed away now. But we didn't use the dog park that much because there's a lot of dogs there that would frankly just run around wild and kind of bully him and stuff, and we just didn't use it that much. So I know you're saying you police your dogs, but I've been there pushing my little granddaughter on the swing set, and there's a lot of roughhousing that goes on with those dogs, and not everyone speaks up. So just some of my grievances, traffic. I can't have my grandkids learn how to ride their bikes without their training wheels down there. And then other kids that come down there, there's a lot of kids that come down there. We'd like to use it more often. There used to be 10-mile-an-hour signs up there when my kids were young. They're not there anymore. I don't know where those went, but it'd be nice to have 10 mile an hour again because people don't care about the speed at all down there. Let's see, people have their windows down, barking their dog. The dogs are barking from the top of the hill all the way down, just every day, over and over again. I get a list of people's dogs barking all the way down the damn hill. And dogs off leash from the car. This is one of my bigger concerns. My dad takes the grandkids out quite a bit. He likes to play in that little sand pile with the grandkids right next to the parking area for the Marina Dog Park. And most people, and I've watched a lot, don't have their dogs on leashes when they take them out of the car. So they just let their dog out and they come over and they charge the kids. It's not because they're being mean. It's just because they're friendly dogs that want to come up. They lick the kids, they knock them down. Both of my middle grandkids right now are afraid of dogs because of that, and they don't like them. So, I would like people to respect the leash law a little bit more, you know? Let's see, one day we had our scouts out there, a bunch of them Cub Scouts, and they picked up 24 piles of dog poop in 1 hour. There's a lot of dog poop in that park. My kids have stepped in the dog poop a lot of times as young people. People don't watch, and one of the things I have to say here is because it's social climate. You guys say you're a family, that's true. I love that. I love being social. I love that about Sudden Valley, but if you're talking to friends and you don't see your dog take a poop, then you don't go pick it up. And I've witnessed it a number of times where people are not picking up their dog poop because they're busy socializing and they don't see their dog take a poop. So, dogs running in a pack, broke a woman's leg down there one day. Dogs were running fast and broke a fib on a lady that was outside of the leash area and got hit by a dog. So things do happen down there. There's loud dog skirmishes. Not every day, but frequently I'm listening to dogs that are barking and getting after each other down there. That's irritating to listen to. There's a gazebo in the softball area. We've tried to play in that many times, and dogs will come over and take the ball from us or chase our kids while they're trying to run around the bases. And if we're having a picnic at the gazebo area, dogs are coming up trying to eat the food and stuff that we're trying to have there. So that's a problem. Let's see. We don't use the dog park much anymore, especially with our grandkids, because it does feel frequently like it's the Wild West out there. Like if I have my granddaughter in that swing, I feel pretty good. But if she's not in that swing and I'm trying to walk her back there, I'm not holding her hand, there are dogs getting out of those cars, coming after her, you know, just running by or coming after them. It should not be that way. And I just want to contrast it with a small dog park, which has a fence around it, and there's rules, and people get to the dog park, they're running around in there. I don't have to worry about my kid there. But I think a lot of people, you guys may not know this as dog owners, but a lot of people don't go to that dog park, and we haven't for years with our kids to socialize or go to the lake because there's so many dogs there. There used to be a sandbox for kids there, and the dogs would come over and make our kids get all over them when they're in the sandbox and just kind of wreck the whole thing for our kids. So dogs are not just all friendly and nice for kids that are young and are afraid of them. So I just wish people would respect that, and I just feel like all the comments online and everything, I had to come here and talk because there is an opposition to this, you know, this free-for-all down there. Everyone just thinks, oh, the dog park is the best. Well, it isn't the best if you have young kids and you want to actually use the park for something other than dogs. So that's my speech.
Thanks, sir, appreciate it.
My name is Steve Greaser, 22 Marigold.
Steve?
Steve Greaser, I'm sorry, Grieser. I'm a longtime resident here. I maintain a very low profile. I don't come to board meetings or anything. But I do use the dog park a lot, and like most people here, though, I use a lot of the amenities here. I've lived here a long time, and I like Sudden Valley because of the amenities. I have a 2-year-old dog. It's the 4th dog that I've raised going to the dog park, so I've been going to it for a long time. I have a couple of comments and a couple of questions. I know the internet is not the greatest place to get information, but I was reading one of the threads on there as this blew up the last few days, and there was a reference from admin about the committee was just looking at some options down there. I'm curious what committee that is.
There isn't a committee.
So there's no
There's not a
committee.
committee.
That's, I just wanted to get that clarified because if there was, I had a lot of questions about that.
No, there's no committee. It was just 4 of us actually, not 6, as was put online as well. 4 of us went down to kind of, like I said, talk to some dog owners, get some idea of how the park is being utilized.
That's great. That's, you know, I wasn't jumping on the bandwagon of outrage.
Thank you for that.
I just wanted to get some information. And one of the things I noticed, again, I don't follow things a lot. I went to the Sudden Valley website, and lo and behold, what pops up on the home page, half the page, is a giant golden retriever leaping through the air with a ball in his mouth. So I think that says something about Sudden Valley and what it means. The park is a great place to socialize. And I won't claim that over the last 30-some years that I've missed my dog pooping on occasion out there.
Yeah.
But I also pick up poop when I'm out there, that I see a lot of times. And we try to really maintain it, and I'm one of the regulars. I started in the regulars that would go at noon or early morning with young kids, and now I'm in the retired 4 o'clock senior citizens. And we have several people that regularly are yelling, poop alert, and everybody looks around to see if it's their dog in case they missed it. the dog park is a social place, and most of the problems I hear are not really problems with the dog park. They seem to be problems outside the dog park with loose dogs, and that's an enforcement issue. That's not a problem with the dog park. And I can see where a fence over on that side, or I'm shocked to hear that somebody said they saw security, and security actually said I was here to see a dog with a leash. That must be because of the recent notice that, hey, this is brewing, go down there and see how many dogs are off the leash, because I never have seen it, and I've never seen the security get out and walk around. And I do see lots of people walk with their dogs across that area. I'm guilty of it. I look ahead and see, hey, there's nobody at the playground. My dog's very well mannered, comes when I call, I walk across there. If I see people, I walk around the leash across there. That's what I used to do. I'm now leashing here all the time and go across there because I don't want to be hypocritical. It is important, but I think enforcement down there would go a long way.
Yeah.
Would help with the point. All it's gonna take is a few reminders for people. You know, you need to leash your dog, you need to leash your dog. People will start leashing the dog until they get over to the dog park. There'll still be that odd dog, a young dog that runs over to meet somebody and greets them, but that's gonna happen. Now, the other thing, I do think it's a great dog park, but I don't think it's the best in the country, and I'm not so sure it's the best in the state. I've been to several other really, really nice dog parks where the community and the municipality takes pride in that dog park as an amenity, and they do things to it to make it really nice and really attractive and really good for the people and the dog. And that dog park has a lot of potential. And I know people say, oh, it's in the watershed, we can't do anything. That's not completely true.
Yeah.
There's things that we could do to make that a really standout amenity. A lot of people who do move here, that's one of their considerations. That's a great place for me to go down with my dog. And I think we can make it even better. And at a very low cost. It's a low-cost amenity for, I would guess, it probably gets more use than any other amenity here except for the pools, and that's a very small window of time that the pools get used. A lot of people use that dog park, or residents use that dog park.
We have actually passed for 3 minutes and
Yeah, I'm sorry.
it hasn't always worked
Anyway,
perfectly.
thank you for everything you did, and I have one other comment. I couldn't find an agenda anywhere.
You have to search board on the thing to find.
What?
And you
not
have to go on the
links.
website and search board, you can't find it. Otherwise,
Or even when I came here, I thought there would be hard copies of it or something to.
Be happy to end. Well, usually no one's here.
Yeah.
Doesn't more hard copies being printed.
You've been waiting this while.
Someone said we doubled the chairs, we like tenfold.
These are on SouthernValley.com.
Thanks.
Okay. Real quick, since you brought up an item here, one thing we were looking at is how to actually to make the dog park better. And one of the questions we had was about, or I'm getting a lot of emails about small dogs not being able to use the park because it's like ruled by large dogs. So that's just one thing I'm bringing up, right? So we get a lot of emails, right? Being on the board, we get these emails coming in. So we're actually looked at, Michael brought some good things he's used in other places about having a dog wash station, about having a small dog area, a large dog area. Or the ability for them to use water as well, right? So just thinking along those lines, I'm not trying to create an issue, I'm just saying these are some emails that we get, so thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I gotta get to one more thing. Most cases, it's not a question of small versus large, it's dog temperament. There's plenty of the small dogs out there that get along
I
just fine with
actually saw
large
the small
dogs.
dogs when I was out there.
It's really the temperament, there's big dogs with the
I got a
soft temperament.
16-year-old dachshund who's out there running around every day for the last 10 years.
And doing fine. So, and then one of the issues that came up was security out there. So one of the things we did see while we were out there, and there was again only 4 of us, and no surveyor, it was somebody from maintenance actually. So things get carried away on
And he
Facebook,
was
just
just
so
wearing
you know.
a security vest, so I thought he was security.
No, he was, actually said Sudden Valley on his thing, it was not you're talking about when security came. And
Yeah,
that certainly could be the case, because one of the issues we had when we noticed there is 80% of the people did not observe the on-leash area. They just got their dogs out of the car and they walked right through everything, through the playground, and one of the gentlemen had 4 dogs in particular, and I told him this was an on-leash area only, and he totally blew right by me, didn't care what I
He
had
probably
to say.
doesn't live here.
So,
That's
he may not live here, but I'm just saying,
That's
so
what we're
then the call went to security, we need to start enforcing these rules, or what good are they?
Yeah.
So that could explain why security started showing up, but go ahead, Barbara.
Okay.
You're good.
I'm happy just hanging out here, it's fine. Barbara Michelson Harder, and I live at 172 Polo Park Drive. And I think it was great, even though you don't have a plan yet, I think it was good that it came up, because now you've heard from the community, and so it will really help you with the direction.
Yes.
With direction, so that's really good. And my husband goes out every day, I don't, but I've gone out a lot. And I do think that, if I remember correctly, in the past, the liability issue was about the playground. And I do think that the playground needs to be fenced off. That's where the kids are, that's where they play on the swings, and I think they need to feel safe there and not have the dogs even just running through.
Yes.
So that, that would be easy. From the end of the tennis court, you just take a fence down to the water and make a pathway at the end of the tennis court for people to get out of their cars and walk through a pathway, with their dogs on the leash, right? Because I think that's important too.
Yes, yeah.
And I think if we followed the rules that were already there, some of the problems that are happening wouldn't be happening. And I appreciate, and I wrote your name down so I could remember, but I already forgot. This gentleman, Rob.
Yeah.
Because he lives down there, which is really, it was interesting to get your perspective. I like the idea of 10-mile signs, that's great. People need to go slow, and I think that's one of the things that we all need to remember, is to get there, we are going through neighborhoods. We're driving by people's houses, where people live there. So we do need to be aware of that, and I think it'd be great if people shut their windows so we didn't have to listen to the dogs all day. We don't, if dogs bark in our neighborhoods, we complain. So that's a really good point. And we do use it 365 days a year. I think it's important on the leash, I said that. Just so you know, with the poop, we're all always on poop alert. We're always on poop alert. And 4 of us went down there, not this April, but a year ago April. We cleaned the whole park and put up signs. And most people pay attention, but I really think, I don't know, it'd be hard to say. It's people who come down there who don't live here. It's people who go down there and let their dogs out and sit on the bench and look at their phone, and they're not even paying attention to their dog. So they don't know what their dog's doing. That's part of it. And I've seen rules on other dog parks, and maybe I'll send some to you, We have some rules, maybe it needs to be bigger and better.
And enforced.
And enforced, you have to pay attention to your dog. You're not there just to let your dog run, without any, just like you would your kid. You don't go to a playground and not hope and not watch your kid. You need to go to the dog park and watch your dog. It's a responsibility of the dog owners. And so there are some rules that we could put in that would help, I think. But again, the fencing the playground, if I remember correctly, that's where the liability was discussed, was fencing off the playground.
It was actually because currently it's called a mixed-use park, right? So that's where the problem is. So it's not just the children on the playground, it's actually people that come just to use the swimming area or have a picnic or that kind of thing. So it's all encompassing actually. So that's why we were talking about putting a fence up, which is, I'm sure a fence is gonna have to go up, and I think a lot of you agree with that a fence does need to go up. We talked about doing double gates and things like that, a card reader access, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But this is really just in the infancy stage, and we're just looking at ideas right now. We just, like I said, we just went out to get an idea of how it's being utilized and things like that, and it turned into this, but
that's okay.
The board is taking no action currently. We're just looking at things to be done, and we've got a lot of emails on both sides. Rob is not the only one that's sending emails about issues out there, so we have to look at both of those things and what's gonna be
I've never
best.
sent an email to the city.
Don't blame them. But yeah, there's nothing happening currently, but you're over your 3 minutes. Do you have anything quick or?
No, Myra, I was just gonna say, you are gonna, when something is
Yes,
in the
it'll be-
publications, it will be,
Absolutely.
You'll hear from us, not Facebook.
Yeah.
Please,
Absolutely.
stop listening to Facebook.
Yeah.
There's so much crap.
from you?
It'll be on an agenda,
Yeah.
there will be an announcement, we'll.
It'll be on like e-blast, you'll get a notice
But it
about
won't be
our
on
meeting.
Facebook.
But it would be a notice, not that you made a decision, but that you're.
Absolutely
That we're
not.
looking.
Okay.
that they're.
Yeah.
There will be a vote, whatever, but it will not be, we won't make a
Yeah,
decision without
yeah.
a vote.
Yeah, because obviously it's a community.
It's an amenity, it is an amenity, I don't,
And it is the only amenity we use too, I mean,
for some people,
that's what
yeah,
we
and I
do.
don't discount that, but I'll be
Yeah.
quite honest, so I found out that the reason why we don't use Marina Beach is because of the dogs. So my wife has an issue, we were attacked years ago by 2 Saint Bernards, believe it or not, while we were on bicycles, and Saint Bernards are like the non-attacking dogs of the world. And so that has freaked her out, and we've gone to the beach, I think, twice down there, and she's freaked out by dogs running over. And I can't explain why, it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers her, but some people have these fears, so I can understand children for sure having those. My wife has it, she's obviously not a child, and that is the reason why we don't utilize it. So, you know, it's an issue, right?
It's an issue.
And we realize that and recognize that something needs to be done, so.
And then there's the other area, when you park and you go to the left, there are no dogs there.
That is actually not true either, the spit you're talking about.
There shouldn't be dogs there.
There
I see
should
them all
be,
the
exactly
time.
right.
All the
So-
time.
That's a no-dog area.
That is a no dog area,
But it's
but
dogs there all the time.
all the time.
Okay, well then that needs to be enforced.
Exactly.
Back to the
We agree.
enforcement issue.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, I'm Audrey Taylor. My husband Sears already spoke. We need to windward.
Oh, you wasted your time then.
I have 2 points. Last time this went through, or it was proposed, a fence was being proposed. And when they were out measuring, I said, you know, this is a multi-use park.
Yeah.
Fences limit the options. And if you're talking about litigation, which is, I understand one of the reasons you even brought this up,
One of them, yes.
I can see litigation coming because of fences. Somebody is playing softball or throwing a frisbee or flying a kite and they run into the fence and get hurt. And I have seen that happen too. So that's one option. I'm anti-fence anywhere. The other, well, I have 3 now because I am an accountant.
You already said 2, you can't go.
The third one, the second one is everything that's been mentioned has a cost.
Excuse me,
Everything mentioned has a cost.
the cost, yes.
The extra security, checking badges, putting in fences,
Card reader.
monitoring people's behavior. And so I'm reticent about that. And last time this came up, a gentleman came up, I don't see him here tonight, who had a list of every park in Sun Valley. Every park. That does not allow dogs. And it was, I think, 11 or 13 parks. And most of them have water access. And if I lived in your house, my children would never leave the yard, because your backyard is utopia, just saying. Okay, so anyway, I think there are lots of options for people. I don't want the Gestapo out there monitoring every little jot and tittle. So I'm on the keep it the way it is side.
Thank you,
Thanks.
My name is Seth Norman, I'm at 50 Grandview. I met you the other day at the dog park. You thanked me for leashing my dog as I walked to the car. I do that because he's a very friendly dog. He's never knocked down a child that I know of, but he doesn't tell me everything. During our conversation, you said a couple of things. One is you said we're just talking about a fence. The other is you said several times, it won't be the board who closes the dog park down, it'll be the water district. All right? I called the water district today. They have no jurisdiction here. They have no, I called 3 water districts in case any of them were related. I did not talk to the watershed, and they might be different. All right? when I went home, I looked up the dog park issue on the Sudden Valley website, on the Sudden Valley in my search engine. And what I got was a proposal, a 4-page proposal indicating all kinds of really radical solutions, most of which involved either cutting the dog park out completely or moving it someplace.
That was from 2018. That's a document that's on the website.
Which is not dated on the website.
No, I know, but I looked it up too, thank you. That was from 2018.
All right.
Yeah, that was the last time.
It's interesting, though, that it's been that issue. But in terms of liability, there's an interesting part of that proposal at the very end where they say why they could not have a fence from the tennis court out to the beach. And it specifically identifies the danger of dogs swimming around the fence and attacking swimming children. Well, I checked an my AI is perplexity, and that has never happened in the history of the United States. The swimming dog has attacked a swimming child. I'm not sure they can attack while they're swimming, but it seemed like it was pushing it so far. We want to close this place down. And as you've heard tonight, there's a whole lot of people who enjoy it a great deal, and to whom it's valuable, not just as a place to take their dog, but as a place to meet people and friends.
So you haven't heard of the dog shark?
No, I have one other thing, and this is an issue you will address elsewhere. I went down on Sunday and there was no parking. I went down on Monday and there was no parking. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, there was no parking. It's very much like that at the AM/PM beach.
Yeah.
Now, I've been here 25 years, and I'm sorry, but the conditions here are degraded. You're charging $50 a day to launch, and we're just filling the parking lot with people. What, 400 days for the season to use it? What is this? I paid for private, access, and you've taken it away. And where's that money going?
Well, I guarantee you, we don't get $50 a day for launching, I don't know.
We only get a percentage, I understand.
But that is one of the problems we have. We're trying to look at parking everywhere because you're absolutely right. And so my question has always been, is it just people coming down because it's beautiful weather and we have 3,100 homes here and they're coming down?
No,
Or is it
the word has gotten out that it's open.
You think it's
When I
non-residential?
first got here, they had just stopped using gates, but we had the stickers, and they were checked. And the word was anyways, that it was a $500 fine. I doubt that but you can make it unpleasant for people. And you can make it expensive for people.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we're looking at is like for non-residents, we try to deter them by it's $25 a day for like coming down to use the dog park for your parking. Things like that. We don't know if it's feasible because we don't know.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Well, we don't know how many non-residents, you guys obviously have a bigger grasp on that than we do. I apparently don't go down there enough.
I've never seen so many boats. I mean, that traffic you're talking about, you may be seeing dogs, I'm seeing boats.
Yeah, and I know it's always been busy in the summertime, and there's always been boats, but I'm talking year-round. If I look at, how many cars come by with a dog in them, it's probably like damn near 80%.
Year-round, I'm sure that's true.
Exactly. I'm not opposed to it. I don't want you guys to think I want to shut down the park. I like the park. I think it should be there. I might get another dog someday, but I just want it to be responsible so that people who have children can actually use it and feel safe down there and not have your kids worried or nervous about dogs all the time.
I totally understand that.
Yes.
I mean, my
Thank you
kids
for your
love
time.
dogs because they go to the dog park.
Thank you, Seth.
My name is Matt Bilderback, I live in 5 Jasper Ridge Lane. Thank you all for the time tonight.
Matt or Mac?
Matt. I have gotten that many times. It's true. I came down here fully expecting this to be more hostile from you, so I really appreciate that. I think the reason why you're seeing the response that you are from the community is precisely that 2018 document that the board very much wanted to reduce the size of the dog park, potentially eliminate it. There's no transparency about that whatsoever. It was only by word of mouth that the community that uses it was able to hear about it and then actually come down and talk to the board about it. So I think what you're seeing tonight is a response to that. So I appreciate that you're open and you're giving us all an opportunity to speak. I think the main thing is we just wanna be able to know what the proposal is whenever that is determined. And we want to be able to not have to do a search randomly at random times to find it. You know, I know that you can look at agendas, but how do I know when that's gonna pop up on an agenda? And I just was looking at agendas today to see if this had been on a previous one, and you know, there's 12 agendas or more. I guess there's probably 26. So anyway, there's a lot, so you have to go through and look individually, so it would be nice if there was some way to be proactive about soliciting that information when it comes up. I do use the golf course, I like it, it's great. There's a lot of people that don't use the golf course and don't like it, but hey, we still have a golf course. And there's a lot of opposing opinions about how that works or doesn't work, right? But it doesn't mean that we just throw that out. But also the only other amenity that I use is the dog park, and it is not just about dogs, it's about us being able to go down as a family. My wife and I can't have kids, so our dog's our kid. And when I wanna go to the lake and spend time with my family, I need to be able to do that at a place that allows my dog to be there. And this is the only place in this county that has this type of water access and the ability for me to take my family. I know like you can go to Lake Patton, I don't know if you've ever looked at their water access. The last time I think they said don't let your animal in there and don't get in it. I totally understand, you know, the concern about children and you know, the safety in that scenario, but I'd like to point out that, again, there are many, many, many other places you can take your child aside from that park. I appreciate that it's like 2 minutes from home and that's very convenient, but there's an AM/PM beach that does not allow dogs at all. It's quite beautiful, it's very sandy. I wish I could take my dog there and swim there, because it's quite frankly nicer than the area that I have to access the lake, but I can't. And I respect that, because I recognize that there are other people here that use the amenities that in a different way than I do, but I know that there's gonna be vocal people on both sides. I think it's important to recognize that this is a huge part of why we're here. It's on page 1 of our amenities list. It says dog park, and I love it, so thank you.
Thank you, anyone else this evening? Spencer, anyone online? No? Good, Keith? Yes, sir. Tom?
I spent a lot of time down there Saturday and Sunday, got to meet a lot of great people. And my first question to everybody I talked to, are you a resident, non-resident? None on Saturday, but on Sunday, about 4 non-residents. But every single resident to a person opposed outside use. They want this amenity for Sun Valley residents only.
Yeah.
Which gave me a great opportunity to talk to them about the details.
Excellent.
Of all the people I talked to, only 2 were aware of it. Everybody else was not aware of it.
Good question. Are you guys aware of the sticker program we're trying to implement this year?
Yes.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons.
Is the sticker on your car or where you, on your?
It's
on your windshield.
in the window, Audrey.
On your car.
Why
On your car, in the window.
Well, yeah, on the inside of the windshield.
Inside of the window.
But they were all in favor of it.
Why are non-residents allowed at all?
Yeah.
Allowed to what?
Why are they allowed at all?
At all?
Yes.
Because it used
Yes.
to be Sun Valley only.
Yeah, we're not,
Is
yeah,
it
because that would
permanent?
require us to be totally private, have gates or security guards at each gate, and, you know, only let certain people
Well,
in.
again, no,
Private without gates.
we used to
Lots
have
of
that.
private.
a long
That was
time.
not necessary before.
You could have signs and you could have enforcement, and it wouldn't be perfect, but it would certainly better than just saying,
Well, you
it's a hopeless cause.
We certainly could do that, right? But what you're looking at is fairly significant increase in the monthly dues to do something like that. That's the
You don't
difference,
need to
so.
do it
Why?
5
Because-
times, the word will get out, I swear you.
If you just cut the
That was a
public
year.
access off like it was before, we never had to deal with it before. It would alleviate about 9/10 of the problems that this man.
I totally agree with that. So what I've actually asked our CPA to do is come up with that dollar amount of what it would cost to actually go, because it changes the tax credit. You can actually answer more on this, but it changes quite our aquatic lease changes, our tax. Michael, this is Michael Bennett, our GM. You want to address that?
Yeah, sure, it's multifaceted. The round number
Sorry,
that
AJ.
Keith and I talked about, the round number that we experienced up at Suncadia, which if anybody's familiar with Suncadia, very similar. Private, gated, security, nice dog park, security budget was $1.5 million a year. Here it's 300. It was gated, you had card access to get into Tumble Creek. All of the guests who wanted to get into Tumble Creek had to give a guest pass to their guests. Now, the main Suncadia roadways are all open to the public, so all you do is get to drive in. But the rub here as well is that the Department of Natural Resources, we lease the access to the lake from DNR. Anybody who wants to use the lake, the watershed has to lease that from DNR. So currently the marina and the little spit have to pay an annual lease. That is about, because it's private, you have to pay for it and pay a fee. That annual lease is about $3,000. Now, AM/PM Beach and the Marina Beach, if those were made private, it's $100,000 a year in lease payments to DNR.
What if there was a gate at gate 1, so it wasn't specific to the access?
I'm sorry?
You said one gate, just get to gate 1.
Correct.
But
then you'd be paying $100,000.
Why?
Yeah, the DNR lease would be $100,000. However, and AJ, you probably know more about this because you were around when the 501c4 status was brought in. So we're unique in that there are very few HOAs that are a 501c4. And it gives you a pretty big tax advantage when it comes to filing the corporate income taxes. Because we do have non-owner revenue, the golf, the pool, that non-owner revenue is taxable. And you would file an 1120, which is a corporate income tax one, or an 1120H, which is a homeowner association 1120. That is a flat 30% tax rate. So we would be paying 30% taxes on all of the golf revenue, the pool revenue. It would be significant. And that's the number that Keith is talking about that our CFO is working on. But to private and gate it and have the security, I would compare it to what we had to do at Suncadia. That was $1.5 million is the budget.
I think the decal is sufficient.
How much would that?
I agree, it's a great starting point, but I did ask.
Really, if people know you have to have a decal, you don't even have to have bodies checking it. Psychologically, it sends a message. And I bet if you just did that, the volume would decrease.
So the current problem is, and AJ brought this up last time, and I agreed with him, is that it's a voluntary program right now. What we need to do is try to implement it as a mandatory program.
Sure.
Because otherwise the data is skewed right now. Because
If you
there's,
sent it out with the dues, like,
Excuse me?
once a year we get that, like, here's the dues for this year. If it came out with that, a requirement to fill this out, and it was actually mailed back to somebody, I think it'd be super easy. It's just that people don't know about it, then you gotta go pick it up.
Yeah.
That's a great idea with the budget mainly. The other proposal that I have is the second half of this, and I wrote the software for this, to try to capture this data first. Next season, if we decide to move to charging non-owners, that's how you're gonna get all the owners to get a sticker.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna hire a temporary employee to sit under an umbrella at a little podium and check every car that comes in. If you don't have a sticker, you're gonna have to pay to park.
Great.
And that is gonna get, well, I'm an owner, okay, you get in free, but you gotta have a sticker. So here's the sticker, fill it out. That is how we were able to do this at previous communities.
Great.
So anyway,
I think we have a lot of success if you just tell people about it and make it well known, people will come to you.
Well, oddly enough, we're getting quite a few emails in opposition to that. What are you doing with the data? How secure is the data? Why do I have to do
Paranoid
this?
time, and the needs of the few can't outweigh the needs of the many.
Yeah, I totally agree, but how do you get that in
I know,
You already have all the data.
Well, no, for the cars. I just want to, do we know what's
I
parking?
agree, but that's a ridiculous point if somebody will.
Oh, absolutely, no, and it's actually in your documents when you join the HOA that you would provide that stuff. I totally agree with you, I totally, believe me, we're thinking of all these things, you know, kind of at one time here. And then we'll, go ahead.
Do I understand you correctly, that because of this, tax status?
Sorry.
Classification?
The lease, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, does that apply to everything, the public is allowed to use all the amenities in Sun Valley?
no,
You can't
not at
restrict
all.
them, or just the ones on the lake?
No, just now the roads are currently, we wish that the county would privatize, would make the roads public.
That's never gonna happen.
No, I know, you're paying $2 million a year, your property taxes into the road fund, and we don't get anything out of it.
know. Well, we get some conscious, but no, I just think.
Lake Louise Road.
The roads have to be.
7 miles, brand new HOA.
My question
Nice.
is this is a
Drive every day.
tax designation for Sun Valley?
Correct. Or
So
the other ones-
wouldn't it apply to all the amenities in the public? If it's gotta be a public benefit or something? I don't quite understand.
Well, it does have to be open to the public for the lake access, that's for the DNR lease.
So that's got nothing to do with the tax.
That has to do with the lake lease.
That's why I said it's multifaceted. It's actually complicated. So there's more to it than that. We don't really have enough time to get into all that tonight. But we are looking
Is
at-
there a list somewhere that shows what amenities the public can use and which amenities the public can't use?
Yes, I do.
I've been here a long time and there's endless confusion about that. People talk all the time about, oh, the board said the public can come everywhere.
Is Linda online?
Can you hear me?
Linda, do you have your paperwork with you in Hawaii? So
I brought all the documents. There's a document that I believe is online, and when we filed with the IRS, part of the filing that we did, we explained to them the different amenities that we had, and actually specifically in response to that, they said that our marina and also our adult center, which is now where the library is, and the quiet pool, we could not allow non-members in there. And currently with the marina, we have gone back to having it closed because of our tax status. For a while, we had a lot of people that were non-members down there, but that's now changed this year and we're back to renting to members, so we don't have a long list. The quiet pool does not allow non-member use. You can buy a pass and go to the main pool. I've often thought myself, and it's just a personal opinion, I think the AM/PM beach should be a beach that we restrict. If we think parking is bad down at the marina, it's 10 times worse down at the AM/PM beach, and there's no dogs supposed to be in there. And it's just so children can go down there that may be afraid of dogs. The only drawback to that park, there's not any play facilities there or sand facilities. You just have to go to the beach. You know, and it's why some people bring their kids down to the marina park. But as far as I know, we can limit things so that we're not simply allowing non-members all over in our community. And because we are as large as we are.
Valuable for the website.
Thank you.
Clearly defined.
Okay, that's
Recommend
fine.
use and without dealing with the public or what the public has access to.
I also,
So this is a lot of stuff, right? And that we're all learning tonight as well. But you're absolutely correct. There's a lot we're looking into right now, and the parking issue is a big one, trying to find out non-members versus members, how many we have here, what areas can be restricted. And the biggest question of all is how do we enforce it, right? If someone just parks their car, so go ahead. And AJ's been waiting patiently. He's the director here, so let's let AJ speak. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, AJ Tischler, 2 Cedar Place. I'll just say, like, we need to know what the actual number is to each lot to be able to actually go private. That we've been waiting for that number for a bit now. But I think it's a fairly easy solution for some of the places, like a gate at the entrance to the marina, a gate at the entrance to the AM/PM beach that uses our access cars that are the same for getting into the gym here and there. You don't need to do a sticker program. You don't need gates at the entrances to the roads. There's a million private roads across the county that don't have gates across them. In fact, none of them do, and I'm pretty sure the fire marshals not gonna support gates on our entrances, but you just have a gate at the marina. We all get badges. It's the same thing as making the sticker program mandatory. If you wanna get in there with your car, you're gonna need a badge. Same way if you wanna use the pool, you're gonna need a badge. Like, you go get the badge, it's free, $8 for an extra one, or whatever. I think it's pretty simple. And then you're actually getting revenue. Those outsiders they can still come in, but we actually have a fee that they have to get, and they would get their own badge that they have to get and pay whatever monthly, yearly, daily, that all has to get ironed out. I think it's a fairly easy solution to at least those two things, those two amenities. As far as the other parks and stuff, I don't see a lot of other people coming to use like the park next to my house. Like, it's just the neighborhood kids and my kids and stuff going down there mostly, things like that. Tons of people talking about, should we even be open to the public? We don't want to. Everyone here basically said they don't want to be. Regardless of how you feel about that, it seems like a lot of people don't want to be. And here we are, pursuing an $8.5 million event center for weddings and things to draw people out. I think the board should stop pursuing that and pause and take time to actually ask the community if they want that. Because they haven't really supported that in the past. And you're already raising dues 7%. While you all sat here and screamed that our reserves are underfunded, you're putting no money into the reserves and putting it all into operations. It's a 14% increase to operations. I realize ops has to go up too, but you can't scream one thing and then do a different thing. I think that's pretty much all I got.
Thank you.
So, prepare for dues to go up, and if they do the special assessment, you're gonna cap out our 15% limit for 20 years. And provide no mechanism for another special assessment other than emergencies to do any other project, so.
I want to address a couple of the comments. Is one, the event center isn't necessarily to draw outside community into
Well, you're
our.
raving about all the revenue it's gonna bring.
Here, let me please explain, okay? You've had your time. That wasn't the idea necessarily.
But this is property owner comments technically, not
Okay.
board comments.
Alright. You want an answer, let me.
I didn't ask
Well,
for an answer from you, I
provide
didn't
an
ask you a question, I made statements.
Okay, like I provided everyone else a response, I'd like to provide a response now. The event center isn't necessarily to draw outside people from Bellingham to come here to get married, or have an anniversary party, or a 50th party, or a retirement party. It's for the community. So we have a lot of people here that are young and old and all kinds of areas that could use an event center or a place to have something like that, whether it is a wedding reception or a wedding, in a second. So that was the idea. It wasn't necessarily to draw in people from outside the area to come to Sun Valley. I'm not sure why would you, right? It'd be something that you could use while you live here. The other issue, we've looked at putting gates, so a couple issues with that. You're gonna be putting gates in gates 1 and 2, right? And the entrances for 1 or 2, or the marina or AMP and beach or whatever. Again, it's the gates 1 and 2 against everybody else, when that really isn't the case. It's just to address what AJ had said. It would alleviate people from coming, non-residents being able to use our amenities. The problem with putting a gate, as Linda's mentioned it numerous times to do that, is you have houses right there by where the gate would go. So now you have people lined up in front of people's houses, waiting to show a badge or swipe their card for the gate.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. But you might be.
They proposed where it was gonna go before they had the rocks put in and everything.
Yeah, that's to
Put it in
prevent
years
parking
ago,
there.
And we were ready for it, and they couldn't put it in for whatever reason or stopped, but I was okay with that, so.
But
just so you guys all know.
Why you may be okay with that, it doesn't mean every resident there would be okay with that. So there is some concern with that, and then if someone doesn't.
The needs of the few.
If someone.
Let them, let
How
them
do you-
actually say.
how do you turn around, like if someone doesn't have their thing, or I don't have a card to pay or something like that, have to be able to get out of there, right, make a U-turn and leave.
It'd be a nightmare.
It could be, so it could be, so the thing is, it's not like just that easy to put a gate there, I would love to do that, let's just put a gate there, that'd be wonderful, solve so many issues. But it's a little more complicated than that, and more thought process needs to go into
We
it.
just put a gate across the boat ramp.
Go ahead.
So I have two questions.
Make-
One is,
make it
we're
make
not talking
sense.
about this as a play facility, we're talking about four.
I'm sorry, let me,
There's a discussion about this being a play facility at the marina, we're talking about 4 swings and 2 dilapidated tennis courts that are like really not attractive for anybody outside.
those are slated to get refurbished, but
Oh,
thank you.
great. Second, is this event center, has the community voted on the event center? Is there the opportunity?
I don't know why it got called an event center.
Okay, whatever it
It's
is,
like,
like a-
but it is like a Facebook thing, it's not necessarily,
Well, we're not getting communication about it, so I don't know what else to call it, but some place where
No.
people can get married and have anniversaries, has anyone voted on that?
so we have town halls, and we're gonna have more town halls, it's actually called the community center is what it's gonna be
Okay,
called, the
community
community center, exactly, it's not necessarily an event center.
Sure.
But
Sorry.
the pavilion was actually designed to have the craft fair, you know, we have our annual craft fairs, we talked about having like a fresh produce farmer's market kind of
I'm simply,
scenario,
whatever
things
we call it or
like
whatever
that.
happens in there, I'm just wondering if the membership gets to vote on it.
Not really, but
They will.
Do we get to vote on it, is what you asked?
50% plus one of every vote has to reject it if they put it forward,
It's $8.5 million.
which we don't even get 50%.
So that, I
voters
guess
to
my
turn out here,
concern
so
is the last
It won't be
time
met.
we did the big
The
building,
closest we ever
AJ.
get is the limit on it.
AJ,
the last time we had a
word
big
please.
expense like this, it was the barn that was refurbished. And we were gonna put the library in the barn, were you here?
I was not here at that time.
Oh, then.
But barn
That might change your opinion, because put the barn, rehab the barn, was it 3 million? It was a ton of money, and then after it was all up, somebody discovered it was
Post
in
beetles.
Yeah, and they had to stop the whole thing and tear it all out.
Yes.
And I just am not trustworthy of any expenditure, anything over $10. If we're gonna do something that better last in the community, better want it.
And thank
That's
you.
ridiculous what they did the last time.
I heard it was a fiasco. Let Audrey, thank you, Audrey. Tom, real quick.
Yeah, at this point, we seem to be getting way off topic, and we have a large agenda tonight, so I'd like to make a motion that we close the comments.
One more second, yes, let's have her, please, and then we'll move on if everyone's
The
good.
$3 million to put up the
I'm
library.
sorry, your name?
I'm sorry, Elizabeth Huthard.
That's okay.
The $3 million that paid for the library was raised totally separately, and private citizens like me, we put on bingos, we put on barbecues, we donated thousands of dollars out of our own pockets that had nothing to do with the dues.
So you must be frustrated. If I had done all the work you did and that happened,
Wasted.
weren't you upset?
Of course I was upset.
I mean-
What was more upsetting was the fact
Friends of the
that they moved the library into the adult center. And now we have no adult center.
I just think, anyway,
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
thanks.
Could you make sure you put this in the newspaper, the Sudden Valley News? That's my, in other words, use that paper, it's an excellent paper, but it needs more,
Information.
more information.
Did you read the July issue?
Yeah, I had the last one.
Yeah, there's a little bit about.
There's an article about the barn proposition.
Yeah, it's right on the front page.
The front page is a big thing of the sticker that everybody should register as stickers. So you can get the people that don't live here, they stick out, they can't get a sticker. You can get a sticker. You need to register your cars. Sure. Everybody does. It's gonna
Okay,
stick out
guys.
real fast.
I think we need to.
Okay, we got one more from Michael.
Just quickly, for the gentleman asking on the 501c4, and for everybody, I looked it up for you. So it's IRS Revenue Ruling 74-99.
I'm lost.
Okay, well, I'll just briefly, it says for a homeowner association to qualify as 501c4 social welfare organization, which is what we are, it must, one, serve a defined community with recognizable relationship to a governmental area, which would be what we got here, Whatcom County. Two, not engage in exterior maintenance of private residences, which we don't. And three, ensure common areas or facilities are for use and enjoyment of the general public. And so that's how the gates were removed and it was open to the public. So it is Revenue Ruling 74-99.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you guys all for your time tonight, and I hope you appreciate it. We gave you the time tonight, so we appreciate all your comments and do realize that that is an amenity down there, and that's all I got to say about it. I wish I went down there more and I had to convince my wife to try it, so. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on for property owner comments. We go to item number 4, the consent agenda for the meeting minutes for July 24th, 2025. Good motion?
I'd like, Mr. President, I would make a motion that the board approve the, can you hear me?
I could not hear you. Thank you, Linda. Second, please. Second. Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments or changes regarding the meeting minutes for July 24th, 2025? Lori?
I do, and I went back and listened to this part of the recording to make sure I didn't say that, but in the short-term rental, I said that information would be coming for soon, not in August.
It's on page 4.
Just so Daniel doesn't have my head. I did not specifically.
5B.
Yeah, so if we could just change the word August to soon, that would be closer.
Define soon.
Soon, in the next quarter, probably by the end of 2026. No.
So,
We don't have it, we don't have something to present at this moment, so we can't give a timeline. But I did not say August, and I would like to keep my relationship with Daniel civil.
What do you want to say?
I will be happy to make that change
Yeah, just,
in the minutes, but I would like to note for the STR, they were given 90 days, and I believe that 90 days is, don't have all my notes, but I believe that 90 days is up sometime in August from when you had your first meeting.
I didn't personally say August.
Okay, I will put there soon. I will look back again and I will change it to regularly, and we'll have a presentation ready for the board soon.
I had to go back and check myself because I was like, did I say that?
All right, so we have a change to 5B under committee updates for STR Task Force. We'd like to make the change from meeting regularly, and we'll have a presentation ready for the board in August. We'd like to scratch out August and make it a motion to extend to say soon. Can I get a second for that change?
Second.
Thank you, Tommy. All in favor of changing that meeting minute remark? AJ?
I'm abstaining, I was going to.
AJ abstained.
Stu's good and I'm sitting, but it's good.
I can't see, can you tell me?
Stu's
I'm
ready.
fine with making the change.
Okay, perfect, thank you very much. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and we're going to, now from the consent agenda, now we're gonna have to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes with said change. Thank you, Tom, all in favor? Okay, everybody but AJ?
Yeah, I'm abstaining, I don't know what the change was.
Thank you, no worries. Okay, moving on to item number 5.
Yeah, we're just.
All right, we're gonna go on with the reports. We'll have the first Michael with the GM report.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And in the interest of time, if the board will stipulate to this was the same July GM report from the last meeting. And it is in the views as well as on the website. So rather than having to read it again for you, like I did 2 weeks ago.
No, thank you very much, sir, I appreciate that. We have committee task force update. Daniel, anything for architectural control committee?
Nothing new really. We consolidated 3 meetings into one that we had last week, and not a lot going on right now.
Yeah, no, that's nice, good for you, you deserve a break. Thank you very much. Linda, anything for document review committee?
I'm gonna have a presentation for some policies for the board to look at later this evening. That's on the agenda.
Okay, thank you very much, yeah, you're on the agenda. Thank you, Linda. Presentation tonight. Anything for the finance committee? Rick?
We had our board and finance committee presentation. We have an upcoming town hall on Saturday, 9:30 in the dance barn, big room upstairs. Where there'll be opportunity to hear a presentation of the budget again from Joel, and opportunity for questions and answers and suggestions.
Excellent. That's at 9:30 a.m.?
9:30.
We're buying coffee.
Oh, okay, well.
All right.
Keep everybody awake that early in the morning, right?
Okay, long range planning committee, Ray?
Yeah, we just had a meeting here a couple nights ago, and we're gonna review the town hall and make sure that we listened to everybody that had something to say, and got a read on that. And then we also had a booth at the Valley Fair, and we had prints, and we had lots of comments. Actually, everything was positive that we haven't gotten none negative at all. Everybody's concerned about parking because the Valley Fair was packed, so parking was a top item at our table. We're pursuing non-dues revenue. We got letters out for solar panels, haven't heard back. We've got had some contact with commercial real estate regarding assisted living, somebody that would invest and build it. And then we just have a land lease with them. I talked to one guy, and they wanted us to take full responsibility, so we bailed. And I've got 2 more that we're researching. So.
Can you tell me when the next town hall is?
It's Saturday.
16th? No,
For the long range planning.
27th.
27th. And you know what time?
6:30.
6:30.
6:30 p.m., not in the morning.
10 p.m., yeah.
6:30 p.m. for everyone, 6:30 p.m. Thank you, Ray. All right, N&E Committee, Robin's not here tonight, he's excused.
Keith,
Go ahead, Linda, yes?
may I just briefly to that? Rob has been working, and so has Michael, with Unilect regarding online voting. We needed to add language into our voting instructions to include that. Unilect has asked for a specific process that we need to get that nailed down, and by the end of the month, have something out to the membership to know that if they want to vote online, there will be a form for them to fill out to indicate ahead of time that they want to file online, and then supply a little bit of information so they can get their ballots.
Excellent, thank you, Linda, I appreciate that. All right, Safety Committee, Rick?
We have a meeting coming up next Thursday. And
Wednesday, 20th.
That's Thursday, that's finance.
Oh, I'm sorry, safety, but.
Yeah, I got.
You're wearing too
many hats.
Sorry, Ray.
Safety is on Thursday. And our agenda's been posted. Will be,
Where's that agenda posted? So people online,
online,
just so you know, so people can hear it.
Yeah, on our committee website, Safety Committee under agendas and minutes.
I mean, I know where it is, but you know,
Yeah.
so people listen.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much, sir, appreciate that.
Just real quickly, Keith.
Yes, sir, Tom.
I was invited to participate in a sweepstake with Full Traffic Solutions, a company I've been in contact with to win a radar sign.
To win one?
Yeah. The only thing I had to do was send him a video of our current one in use.
Was that you standing out there?
35, 37. So I emailed back and said, we don't have one, this is the whole point of
Excellent.
entering, but, you know, if you want to help, tell me what else I can do.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that update. That would be awesome. Yeah, you can see him flipping the sign, 37, 38. All right, STR Task Force, Lori?
All
Daniel's here.
right, yeah.
And Daniel, sorry.
I was not at the meeting.
Linda was right, we have 90 days. I think the 25th would be actually 90 days.
Of August.
Of August.
Yeah.
We do have stuff to present, we don't have a comprehensive plan at this point. I would like to speak with Michael maybe early next week. We do have another meeting next Wednesday for the short-term rental group. We've got some documents that we put together on Google Docs that we're all sort of editing and sort of finalizing. We've got the beginnings of the plan, so what we need to know is, you know, how we talk to Michael about this is how do we present this then?
Careful.
Where do we, and then where do we go with it? Because it's not gonna be a comprehensive plan. And I've talked to Rick a little bit about how he's rolling out his sticker plan, you know, the car stickers. I thought maybe we could follow some of the same procedures he is, just so people are aware of it. We want people to be aware of it. So we've got a lot of things together, and the 25th we will have something that, you know, we can present, you know, I'll show Michael and then somehow we'll get it to the board. But, you know, we're making some good progress. We got some really good people on the committee.
I think last meeting, Michael volunteered to build our app to build an app for it.
Yeah, no, we can do the same.
Yeah.
Really, if you like the look of the registration app, we can, that way I don't have to write all that front-end code.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want people to, you know, this to be the regular procedure, you know, if you're gonna roll something out, this is how we do it. Because there is a lot of confusion with the residents and what's going on and how we get involved in it, so. Sure. Maybe we'll get together next week.
Sure. Yeah, and I recommend a, you know, respectful grace period on especially,
absolutely.
you know, you get people 120, 180
24
days
hours.
to register their short-term rentals before they get fined.
Yeah, I might even suggest you bring it up with Michael and the exec at the same time, so it's several people looking at it, giving different ideas. Linda's got a lot of history, good ideas on how to take care of some of that stuff, so that might be.
Well, I thought I'd talk to Michael just so, and then we could all get together.
Yeah.
Just so he can sort of help me.
Absolutely, no, I think that's wonderful, and Tom, you have to.
Yeah, just real briefly on the decal program, I talked to a gentleman on Saturday that had registered one of his vehicles, but was really frustrated that he couldn't register his second one because it was over the 97.
We fixed that. It goes back now to 1920.
Okay.
So if you want to register a Model A, you can.
I just told him to go to the Welcome Center and fill out a hard copy.
It just expands the database fields, that's all. I'm trying to keep the code compact.
That's hilarious. You go all the way to 1920 now, so no worries. They got worse carried down there. All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on, continuing business.
New business.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that was amended agenda. We removed item 6A from the agenda tonight. So moving on to 7 is new business. 7A is a capital request, a contract award for BOD Inc. furnace replacement. That'll be on page 24. Michael? Yes, sir.
Sure, I'll present. The purpose to request approval to award the contract for the replacement of the failed furnace in Barn 8, this building. To authorize the use of the already approved 2023 project funds under the Certif Capital Code 9722.09. So in April, we identified a gas furnace serving the entryway and the central upstairs area of this building failed due to a cracked heat exchanger. Actually, they smelled the gas. So, you know, we didn't want to blow the building up. We shut it down, and it was April at the time, and the weather was warming, so we wanted to take our time and get multiple bids. So now we know the weather's starting to cool out a little bit, so we do have to replace this furnace. The furnace was identified in the 2023 board-approved barn aid refurbishment project under that same capital code, based on the inspection and recommendation at that time by Barona Engineers. So it was included in the reserve fund of the project scope for 2024. And as you know, we didn't do anything in 2024 with barn aid, so those funds are available. The funds, there's $656,000 remaining in that fund. This request is for $6,661. The analysis that Mike Brock has made here in the bids, we're recommending Mars Heating for American Standard at 95% efficiency, with the lowest responsible bid of $6,661.50. Again, and so that is our request in the motion, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. All right, so the motion is moved that the SVCA Board of Directors authorize the general manager to execute SVCA standard construction contract with Mars Heating for the replacement of the failed furnace in barn 8 for $6,661.50 to be paid from previously approved capital funds under project 9722-09.
Second.
Timey beat you. Comment? Any comments, questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tom?
I'm fairly familiar with this equipment, and American Standard is kind of mid-course. Lennox is as good as you can get.
Sure, of course.
Just something to consider.
One thing.
Personally, I'd spend the extra $2,000.
Sure, if you want. Mike and I just considered from the point of view, if this barn 8 tear down happens, you're gonna have a Lennox furnace in here that you're gonna tear out.
All in favor of the, you have another comment?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
This is for Mars?
This is from Mars or the American Standard. It's the lowest responsible bid.
Yes, do, Linda's a yes, okay.
Yes.
Thank you, that's unanimous.
Yeah, I love Lennox, Tom, I really do, they're good.
Okay, moving on, the approval request for delinquent accounts policy 2003.06 revisions will be found on page 47.
So the document review looked at several of them. You're going to have them coming one right after the other. The first one was the delinquent accounts policy.
Let me say real quick, all those documents will be on page 46. So if you want to see the review of what we're going to be looking at tonight, will be on 46. I'm sorry to interrupt, Linda, go ahead, please.
That's okay. So we began looking at that. One of the main reasons we did was because of we had to revise according to state law when we take people to foreclosure and stuff, and this needed to be updated. If you look, there's a red line version, shows the changes. Another reason it was important to change this document was because originally it said that it started with procedure in the original document back from 2009, and it says the payment due date for dues and assessments will be the first day of each calendar quarter, because that's when we used to pay our dues. And I thought something needs to change because it definitely needs to be a month. The new collections policy that we have is referenced in this, so that we are coordinating with our updated policies there. So that's why I would ask for that to be approved. Do you want to do one at a time, Mr. President?
If there's no questions on that, I don't see why we couldn't do it under consent. You could proceed.
Okay. Then there's also, so the next thing is the procurement and purchasing policy. There's another one, the GM, oh wait, what? I have something in here that doesn't belong. I'm gonna have to bring it back. I'm gonna have to remove, it didn't update on my copy that I made. the 2017-02, that's already been done, and I just missed doing that. So I would ask that you would move down to the audio-visual policy, which is 2017-06. We updated it because we don't use audio-visual anymore, and we renamed it online media policy and described what we do now. In the original policy, it was only that they would try and have the meetings recorded. And it's like now we have a way for members to participate in them, and we needed to update it. So that's why you have that updated policy to include the fact that all of our meetings, much like this board meeting, any town halls and the AGM, even committees of the board, these meetings are all they're online media, and we've really changed things, and so that's why we updated that policy. And last but not least, there's, you're gonna find the paperwork for when when we updated all of our information for ACC, there was one document that was called easements, encroachments, and vacations. And it was requiring Sudden Valley to post something. And I asked at that a long time ago to see if the attorney could answer that question, never did. In going back and looking at some other stuff, I came across the board meeting minutes from 9/22/2016, where several policies were brought forward to the board to rescind. And among them is this 1996-21, the easements, encroachments, and vacations policy. And I would ask that the board recognize that, and I can then remove that from policy that is still hanging in the policies online. So if there are no questions or any objections, I would ask that policy 2009-02, 217-06, and 2016 rescinded ACC policy be approved by the board.
I'll second that motion. Any comments or questions? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're moving on to, we now have an executive session. So we'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting and move into executive session at 8:34 p.m. I get a second?
Second.
Timing, all in favor? Yes, sir. All right, 8:34 p.m. This meeting is moving into executive session. Spencer, can you stop recording and everything? Thank you.
Can I stay online though?
You as well.
You guys, good to see you. We're gonna take a break, Linda, for a couple minutes.
Okay.
How does Linda, did she stay on here or does she have to call in?
You're gonna have to call because there's a public.
Okay, gotcha.
So-
Linda, we're gonna have to call you. You got your cell?
My phone's almost dead, so I can't help you.
If it wasn't a public link, yeah, it would work, but.
I've got 83 if you want to use it.
Yeah,
I'm on my, how do I say this? Spencer, I'm on my board Zoom call.
Okay.
Okay.
Use the public one. I used my one where it says I'm a board member.
Right, but what I'm saying is this whole meeting, somebody could just click a link on the website and just watch. That's what I'm saying.
So we're gonna have.
But I still can participate and I'll be able to hear them, right?
Yes, well, but
Thank you.
you're gonna have to be called by them on one of their cell phones, though, is the thing.
Are you guys going to call me in also?
Oh, gotta call Stu then too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stu, we'll have to call you as well.
All right, thank you.
Convenient, but that's how the setup works.
Yes. Who's got Stu's number?